This is 2 Minutes in Luke, but I should probably rename it 3 Minutes in Luke because I'm having a hard time keeping my remarks under 2 minutes. Anyway, today we're taking a look at Luke chapter 5, verses 1 through 11. This is the miraculous catch of fish, but the real story is not the miraculous catch of fish. I think it's probably the call of Simon Peter to follow Jesus. At any rate, Jesus is portrayed yet once again by Luke as a teacher whose power is demonstrated in his deeds. I'm impressed with verse 5, Peter's faith, where Jesus tells Peter, launch out into the deep and put down your nets for a catch. And how does he reply? Peter says, well, my friends and I have been fishing all night long and we haven't caught anything. But if you say so, I will let down my nets. In other words, he's willing to do something based only upon the word of Jesus. I think that's faith. And then I like the demonstration of Peter's faith in verse 11. Verse 11 tells us that after Peter is fearful, well, he's been in the presence of transcendent power. Anyone would be fearful. After Peter expresses his fear, Jesus says, don't be afraid. From now on, you're going to be netting people. You're going to be fishing for people. And verse 11 tells us that Peter, Simon Peter and his friends, left everything and followed Jesus. What's happening here? Peter is demonstrating the faith that allows him to step out into the unknown. This is an unknown path that he's going to walk with Jesus, but he's willing to take that step. But of course, it's a logical progression for someone who was willing in just a few verses earlier to do something purely on the word of Jesus. Now, what does this mean for us? Well, first of all, and only this, it means that we can have the same kind of faith that Peter had. That's right. We can put our trust in Jesus and in his word. We can take risks because they are calculated risks because Jesus is involved. We can step out into an unknown future because Jesus is our leader. We can have this kind of faith. And I'm sure that's one reason why Luke shared this story with us, not just to give a history, but to show us that if we choose to follow Jesus as Peter chose to follow Jesus, well, we can have the same kind of faith and trust in him that Peter demonstrated. So, do you have that kind of faith in Jesus? You can.